Hey, good morning, guys. So we're gonna move these sheep, and I kept wanting to get over here to show you how we've been grazing this cereal rye with the smart fence here, and you've probably seen this before if you watch, where we use the smart fence, and you can see down the distance there is the water tanks on the trailer. Yeah. And so now Travis is just going to roll up this side, and we'll run these sheep up the road. I don't know, it's about a mile maybe from here, that where we want them to lamb. Of course, we've got a few lambs already. One day before yesterday there wasn't any lambs, and yesterday Travis said there was 9. I don't know how many there are this morning. This is April 23rd, and I don't think they were supposed to lamb till, well, May 1st or a couple days earlier. But that's just kind of how it works, isn't it? But what we do with the lambs, if they can't keep up and they're getting left behind or becoming a problem, and we put them in this pet carrier in the back of the Ranger and take them down there. Then we mother them back up. So Travis will use the smart fence again where we're at, where we're moving them to. That way we can keep them closer together, keep the dogs where they can handle predators better, and moving them every day, maybe every other day. It sort of depends. Don't think he'll get nothing from the guard dog. So this is our watering system. For those of you that haven't watched some of the videos back last year when we were using this, we have 3 tanks on it here. They're not drinking very much water now. Of course, it's cooler, and this vegetation has quite a bit of moisture in it. Here's the little, it's just a 55-gallon barrel kind of cut off, about 1/3 of it, and the Job valve with the float there, you can see, and the water hose just plugs into it. And you can see how these are all kind of plumbed together, but you can shut some of them off like that. One on the end to shut off. So we just pump, drawing out of these 2. Then we have a tank at Travis's house, which is, I don't know, half mile from here, and we can pump into that, or we can pump out of a pond and fill these tanks if we can do that. Okay, so we've had a change of plans. After talking it over, thinking about all the implications of it and how it might work, we've decided to leave them on this cereal rye, moving them every couple of days here like this, and lamb them here instead of going up the road where we would normally lamb on a fescue pasture. We like that other pasture to lamb because there's a lot of cover there, and we know that when we get storms and heavy rain, we don't want them to be just out in the middle of a field like this, because you're going to end up with dead lambs. But we've got a pasture that's just right over there across the fence, across the hedgerow. And there's a gate right there where I'm showing you. You can't see it, but right in that opening there's a gate. And it looks like we got some rain coming up maybe here in a couple of days. We'll do one or two things. We'll either move them into that other pasture because there's cover there, or we'll give them a paddock with this smart fence along the edge where that hedgerow is, where they can get underneath a bunch of those big cedar trees. And then when, you know, a day or so the rain passes, we'll bring them back out here more towards the middle of the field. And even if it was so muddy we can't get the water tank to them, which I don't know if that would be the case with this is a no-till crop field, and it stays pretty firm with this cover on it. But if we couldn't, there's lots of these terraces that hold a little bit of water, and no more water than they're drinking for a day or so. We could set up the paddock in those areas. Because they're so content in here, they just, I mean, we've got the fence down, and they know it's down because they know that the clicking of the noise when you start reeling that up. And they usually come running towards it when it's being let down if they're not content. But they're so content in here that they just act like they want to stay. And this cereal rye is good feed, and we always want to graze some of our crop ground. We've been talking about it, and it's just not very convenient sometimes. So we haven't done as much of it as we wanted to. But this would be a good test, and this is probably the year to do it because it's been drier. And so, because we're going to come back in here probably in a month or so and plant non-GMO soybeans in here. So the only problem with that, if this doesn't work and we run out of feed on the other side of that fence row, it's just going to be very hard to move them with, see, there's 363 in here, I think. And then with lambs on them, and you know, you're probably talking about maybe 1,000 animals, I don't know. Trying to move them with those little lambs on them is more difficult until they get some legs under them. So, but we have another pasture that's just across the road. It's where Travis lives, that we could run them over on it, because if it rains it'll grow back up. And we didn't want to graze it yet, but we could. We had them there through the winter. So all these implications, every decision is not just a decision, it's like multiple decisions. And you just have to think, okay, but if this happens, then this will happen, or do we want that to happen, or how will we handle this? And that's what we've been discussing here for about an hour as we walked along and saw how much feed we're leaving in here, which isn't wasted. It'd still be weed control for the soybeans we put in here. But I don't know, the soil health aspects of grazing animals on your crop ground, we don't know how much that's worth, and we just always wanted to try it. We did graze, we did the same thing here last year, but we moved them off at this time and we didn't really graze. So we've been here 20 days and probably haven't grazed half of this. And so if we get another 20 days, 30 days, these will be lambed out, and those lambs, a lot of them will be big enough to travel. These first ones being born here the first couple weeks, they'll get along fine, and maybe all of them by then. So our grazing, it's just all, you never know how it's going to work. Your grazing plan never goes as planned, but the planning process is worth the process. We have a grazing chart. Our grazing chart said that we're going to move them up to that other pasture a mile north, but I think we're going to revamp our grazing plan. Give this a shot. So there you have it, guys. That's how it is with you can't really graze by the calendar or graze by a predetermined plan sometimes. It's just the way it is. We'll see how it goes. I'll keep you posted. Hey, I was going to show you here this side over here is what we grazed previously, probably a couple of weeks ago. Look how it's grown back. Look at that. Now this is the side that's not been grazed yet, but see right there is where we put the wire. It's considerably a lot more forage here. I'm surprised how much this has grown back. And see, this is what we're planning on grazing this again, and that way they could get into that fence line if it rains. See? And here's the same thing on this side. Right down there, you see where the fences run. Now they've been in that side where they're at. Travis moved them there yesterday, and he says they still got probably 2 days feed in there from what he's been experiencing. And this is what they grazed previously. I don't know exactly how long ago, but man, it just grows back quickly this time of year. Now it'll get to the point it'll turn yellow, kind of like wheat, kind of brown, ripen out. They won't eat it then. No, they're turning their nose up at it. But we got a few weeks before that happens. See? So you can see this side. This side has not been grazed yet. This side's had it just for a day. Anyway, I just found that interesting. Thought I'd point that out to you.